Hey everyone, today I'm going to be swatching and reviewing the BeautBean and Shroud Cosmetics It's Freakin' Bats palette. I'm so excited. This just came in the mail right now, so I'm gonna go do a look with it. So if you want to see swatches and my thoughts on the palette, just keep watching. Now that you guys have seen swatches of this beautiful palette, let's talk about it. This is what the box looks like. It says It's Freakin' Bats. And then on the back you do have the color names again, which I'm happy that they come on the palette too. And then you have a little note from Betty Jean. I mean, she's an angel, love her so much, and like she's always like supported me too, so like she's definitely one of the makeup people that I look up to. And then you have the ingredients on the back of the box if any of you care about that. This is vegan and cruelty-free, which of course that's what we want. It's 2020. Why does animal cruelty need to be a thing? It doesn't. Go cruelty-free. The palette itself has the most beautiful packaging. I'm a sucker for purple, so of course purple with bats is just, oh, this just makes me happy. And it does come with a very nice mirror. I still have the like plastic wrap on it, but it's an amazing mirror. It's a very good size. And then of course you get 9 eyeshadows. I have done an eye look with this already. Spoiler alert, I'm in love with this palette. Oh, okay, you're gonna leave now? Thanks. Bye, Effie. Bye. I'm in love with this palette. This palette is everything. The color story is amazing. As soon as I saw this palette, I was like, yes, I need this. For my eye look, I used quite a few of the shades. I used Sam on the inner corner. I used Spooky on like the inner half of my crease. I used Adams on the outer half of my crease. And then I used the shade Zero all over my lid. Stunning, stunning shades. And then I also used Trappa on my lower lash line, and I wasn't sure how Trappa would go with like the other colors on the lid, but it worked so well. This formula is amazing. The mattes are insanely pigmented but blend beautifully, and honestly they don't feel dry to the touch either, which is amazing. Usually very intense mattes, especially that are like deeper in pigment, can be dry feeling. None of these felt dry at all. Like, I was extremely impressed with the shade Dairy, which is like this dark eggplant sort of color, because it wasn't dry whatsoever and it swatched extremely well. If you guys do happen to want to see the makeup tutorial that I did using this palette, I will link the TikTok link down below. Sam would be too dark on the inner corner for like an inner corner highlight, but it actually worked pretty well. In the end, I did add a little bit of a white highlighter from ABH just to brighten it a tiny bit, but honestly this on the inner corner is kind of cute, kind of its own thing. Just this whole color story speaks to me on a million levels. Like, I love, like, blues like this are my favorite, and this is the first brand that I've had that actually did this shade right, which is insane to me, because like anytime I've tried shades like this, it's patchy, it's crappy, it's just not good. But this one is amazing. Like, it's pigmented and it builds up great and it blends good too. I love that there are, of course, purples. So Apparition is like lavender type of purple with a gold flip to it, but it's like very intense. And then the shade Zero, which is what I used on my lid, is like a blue purple. It is so pretty. All over the lid, I liked that when it overlapped with the blue shades, the shimmer to it was a little bit more blue. It was absolutely stunning. Basically, the only shades that I didn't use were Handbook, Dairy, and Grim, so I will definitely make sure to use those, but I can just tell from the swatches that they are just as good as the other shades, and I'm very excited for this palette. Like, I don't think I've been this excited about a palette in a very long time, and that says something because I'm usually quite excited about eyeshadow palettes, but this palette is just everything to me and everything I wanted and hoped it would be. It was worth the wait. It was like worth the money. I believe it's $35 US or something around that, and you can use BeautBean's discount code. But like, as soon as I saw her like show off this palette, I was like, oh, I'm in love, and the formula is amazing. It definitely makes me want to pick up some more Shroud eyeshadow palettes if the quality's this insanely good. None of these shades swatched bad. Usually I would want there to be more mattes than shimmers, but I think this palette has the perfect like ratio of mattes to metallics, and I love that the metallics are all like metallics. There are no like satin shades. The mattes don't have any like sequins in it. It's just, this palette just speaks to me. Let me know down below what different eyeshadow combinations you would like to see me do with this palette, because I can definitely see myself doing a ton of looks with this. Honestly, I can't even decide what my favorite shades are. Like, usually I'll do like finger swatches for Instagram, and like usually I'll try to pick my 3 favorite mattes and my 3 favorite shimmers, but I'm having a hard time doing that at the moment. Like, I'm just like staring at these shades. Like, one, I didn't even want to touch this palette. Like, I got it in the mail today and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to touch it. It's so beautiful. This may actually be the first palette I buy a backup for eventually, just because I love it so much, and I can tell like this for me would be like a daily palette. Like, this is my everyday type of palette, so I know I'm gonna get lots of use out of this one, and the quality is just phenomenal. Like, I have no issues with this palette whatsoever. I'm in love with this palette, and I know I keep saying that, but like, I've never been this excited for an eyeshadow palette. Overall, I'm in love with this palette, and using it just once is enough to say that it's my favorite palette. Basically, with this palette, it launched for pre-sale and it sold out in 2 minutes. And I was one of the lucky people who did get the initial pre-sale, so that's why I have it currently. The owner finally has went through the initials and has shipped most of them out. The palettes were said to start shipping on October 12th or 13th, and mine shipped just under a month later, so obviously there was a lot of setbacks. Shroud is a one-woman show, basically. It's owned and done by one person, so obviously like we knew there was going to be a wait, but for the initials it was kind of a toss-up. Like, at first there wasn't very much information given to us, just that this is roughly when it could ship, and that was about it. And then we were kind of left in the dark for a while, just commenting to each other customer wise and just asking like if anyone else's had shipped, etc. And I actually made a makeup friend from this, so that's pretty cool. But like, for a while, I think about 2 weeks, there wasn't any updates or anything, and I think that rubbed a lot of people wrong in the initial pre-orders, because we were told, okay, they would start shipping on whenever it was, the 12th or 13th, and like no one's had. So a lot of people were getting upset, and I mean, as a customer spending money on an order, transparency is what most of us wanted. And when we started to get updates, that's when a lot of people did calm down a bit. And me myself, I tried not to think about it too much, because I was like, you know what, it'll ship out when it ships out. But at the same time, I understand people getting frustrated with the lack of updates and then being told one thing and then the next week being told one thing, and it just kind of kept going. But I think a lot of people didn't realize that the people who were upset were the people in the initial pre-sale. Basically, there was a difference. If you were in the initial pre-sale, you got your palette within the first 2 minutes, so you would be one of the first people. When the constant pre-sale went up, or whatever, pre-order, that basically meant you can place your order, but it could take like 4 weeks to 4 months or more before you get your palette. So most people who ordered it after the initials, they knew they'd be waiting for months, but for us who got it on the initials, we were like, why hasn't ours shipped out when it's been a month almost? And it was frustrating, but I definitely think that there's definitely been more transparency, which is great. Like, I definitely think the owner has, you know, her name is Chloe. She's definitely been a lot better with, like, talking to the customers and updating them as much as she can. And again, I think people do have to realize, I mean, it's a one-woman show, and that is probably a lot of work to do by yourself. So while, yes, it was pretty frustrating to, like, not really know what was going on and why orders weren't shipping out and stuff, eventually it happened. And honestly, I feel bad that I think a lot of the joy was sucked out of this collaboration because of the waiting and people getting snarky and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that now people are getting their orders, that people will be more happy and receptive. That way Betty Jean and the owner of Shroud Cosmetics can enjoy this collaboration and enjoy what it has brought for them. Because, I mean, honestly, like, this is the most stunning color story I've ever seen, especially for a 9 pan eyeshadow palette. It's stunning, and I'm so happy for Betty Jean. Like, I think she deserves this in the world, so I'm so happy. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, this palette was 100% worth the wait. Like, 100,000,000% worth the wait. I mean, I don't think I've said it enough, but I'm in love with this palette. It was worth the wait 100%. As soon as I saw it and got it in the mail, I knew it was worth the wait. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you subscribe, comment down below any videos that you'd like to see me do. Go follow my Instagram and TikTok, Makeup by Tasha XO. I post mini makeup tutorials on my TikTok now, so make sure you go check them out. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.